second grade. So today what we did was we learned about positive and negative space, and we learned about stencils. So today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be practicing with stencils and making positive negative space. So what you're going to be getting today is you're going to get two stencils. They don't have to be the same stencil. So like this one is different than this one, that's okay. All right, so when you have your two stencils, one is going to be creating negative space and one is going to be creating positive space. And you'll see that a little more clearly when I put the paint on. So today you're going to be getting purple, blue, and white, and you're also going to be getting a little sponge. There on the sponge there is a soft side and there is a rough side. Today what I want you to do is I want you to use the soft side of the sponge. All right, so when we get started, you're going to put the stencils side by side. So you'll see what I mean when this stencil will give negative space and this stencil will give positive space, because right now they're reversed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge, and it's up to you, like if you want to kind of change colors through it or kind of have all three mixed in. I'm just going to make it up to you. Just don't swirl it into one color. We want to be able to see the different blues, the different purples, and the different tints of those colors. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to kind of gently dab. And so it's kind of creating a really nice, oh, that's okay, a really nice kind of light purple and light blue on my sponge. And then what I'm going to do, so I'm using the soft side. So if you have one of the skinnier ones, you're going to have to hold it down. Your fingers might get a little dirty, but that's okay. And so hold it down so it does not move with one hand. And on the sponge, and with the sponge, you're just going to dab, 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 dab. Don't dab it so hard that the stencil moves. That's our goal. So I'm going to go get more paint off my plate, and then I'm just going to keep dabbing all the way around. The ones that are the negative space ones, the ones I'm working with right now, it's best if you hold them down with one hand, and it's best if you kind of work around in a circle. It looks really nice. Kind of moving my finger so I can get around there. And I will leave the big reveal until the end. And so now I'm going to move on to my positive space one. I'm going to get some more paint. Some more. Again, you don't have to hold this one down quite as much, but still hold it down because we don't want it to move. Make sure you dab all around the stencil. I will clean these off later. Another thing for holding it down, we don't want paint to get underneath the stencil because then it's going to ruin our shape. All right, so I did all over that. I'm going to put my sponge back. And so then I'm going to take off the stencil, and then what's left with my snowflake is a white negative space snowflake. This one is a positive space, but it left a negative space print. This one, I'm going to take this off. This was my positive space stencil, and it left that print. So we have our positive space, and we have our negative space. All right, make sure you guys put these in the sink when you are done. Oh, and also make sure the sponge goes back into the sponge container. I will wash it out, and the plate of paint goes into the garbage.